আমি তাই করিব তম ছুয়া ঘর আনি পরীক্ষা দিও না কোন রইলি ক্লাস টাইম লানি কোনটা কালি কথা কালি গলা আজ কোন সে কথা আজ কথা হলো না ও ও ক্লাস সরলানি ক্লাস আর 6টা 5 মিনিট দেরি হলো দেখুন good morning so welcome to the daily discussion. The first topic is Davos meeting 2024. Davos is a place in Switzerland. So why in news? This year's edition of the World Economic Forum annual meeting was held from January 15 to January 19. That is known as the World Economic Forum Summit. The overarching theme of the World Economic Forum 2024 was rebuilding trust. Okay, what is the theme? It is the theme was rebuilding trust. Then coming to World Economic Forum, it is the international non-governmental organization for public-private cooperation. Okay, what it is? It is the international non-governmental organization for public-private cooperation. It was founded in 1971 by a German engineer and economist, Klaus Schwab. Remember this comes as a question in the preliminary. So who is the founder of the World Economic Forum? So it is none of a politician. He is a German engineer and economist, Klaus Schwab. The forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural and other leaders of the society to set global, regional and industry agenda for the global community. It has no independent decision making power because it is a NGO. Okay, so international non-governmental organization for public-private cooperation. So it has no decision making power because the country participating in this World Economic Forum Summit are independent sovereign countries. So World Economic Forum has no decision making power. So it's headquartered in Cologne, Geneva in Switzerland. So Davos meet annually. The World Economic Forum organizes a meeting at the end of January in Davos every year. It is a regular event and it is looked after by the world with very seriousness. Fine. So the World Economic Forum organizes a meeting at the end of January in Davos every year. It is a mountain resort in the Graubünden in the Eastern Alps region of Switzerland. Okay. The annual meeting also known as the Davos Agenda. So this meeting or annual summit called the World Economic Forum Summit is popularly known as the Davos Agenda and the objective of orienting global leaders on the imperatives of the year ahead. What are the challenges for the upcoming year? What steps will be taken? This is mainly decided and discussed at the Davos meeting every year. So, and the World Economic Forum also publishes a good number of reports. Like the World Economic Forum produces a series of annual reports such as the Global Competitiveness Report. This is again a question for the preliminary. So which of the following reports are published by the World Economic Forum? If this comes as a question, so here the option will be Global Competitiveness Report, Global Information Technology Report, Global Gender Gap Report, Global Risk Report, Global Trade and Travel and Tourism Report, and Global Enabling Trade Report. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 reports are published by the World Economic Forum, and these reports are taken very seriously by the global community while dealing with their future plans. Okay. So I am again reporting the Global Competitiveness Report. So which country is more competitive? Global Information Technology Report, which country is at advantage in using information technology for the public benefit? Global Gender Gap Report, in which country the gender gap between the male, female and the third gender is maximum. Then Global Risk Report, so where which country is riskier to investment, so because that attract or discourage the investors to invest in that country. Then Global Travel and Tourism Report, it mentions the which country are the better travel destinations for the international tourists, because tourism is emerging as a major sector right now, a very lucrative and remunerative sector. And this report published by the World Economic Forum highlights which country are better travel and tourism destinations. So more and more people travel to that country. So and Global Enabling Trade Report, which country have the potential for trade, that is published by the Global Enabling Trade Report. Fine. So these are the maximum reports, so the number of reports published by the World Economic Forum. Fine. Then the key takeaway from Davos meeting 2024. So at the meeting held this year, so the following topics were taken into consideration. Like the artificial intelligence was the most important topic taken for consideration at this year's meeting, one known as the, so the major topic of discussion as the 2024 Davos summit was about artificial intelligence or AI. The one issue that took center stage at this year's World Economic Forum meet was the artificial intelligence or AI. Its many transformational ability for human welfare were discussed. At the meeting, so the transformational benefit of artificial intelligence were discussed by the global community. Fine. So they continue to discuss on the ability of the global community to take up the human welfare based on the use of artificial intelligence. Fine. How the use of artificial intelligence will facilitate that benefit to human being globally. That was discussed. That was a major topic of discussion. Okay, at the this year's Davos summit. Its many transformational ability for human welfare also discussed. So the transformational ability for human welfare using artificial intelligence was also discussed at this year's summit. It also highlighted the potential threats such as the need for regulation because AI till date is under the unregulated sector. So how to regulate this sector? Okay, so that was also discussed. So fear of job losses because you see, so artificial intelligence, so spread of artificial intelligence is being taken as a big threat to lead, that may lead to loss of job. Okay, so the risk of impersonation and misinformation was rampant in artificial intelligence. Okay, that is also discussed. The inequalities it can potentially worsen. Okay, so these are the issues. Okay, overall the participants agreed that the positives outweighed the negatives. Okay, so after discussion, okay, okay, okay. Overall, the participants agreed that the positives outweighed the negative, and human intelligence did not face a major threat from artificial intelligence. It was well judged at the summit that this is not going to affect, okay, to that an extent. War and uncertainty, the other topic discussed afterwards, the war and uncertainty. The summit highlighted the risk posed by the fragile geopolitical situation, war in the Middle East and Europe, the threats to global supply chains, and the uncertainty around food security. The head of the Palestine Investment Fund estimated at least 15 million would be needed to rebuild the houses in Gaza alone. Because due to the Israel-Gaza Hamas war in Gaza, so massive destruction has taken place and around 15 billion dollar will be required for rebuilding the houses only for the people in Gaza Strip. However, the Arab states said they could not fund reconstruction unless there is a lasting peace in the region. Arab states are willing to finance the rebuilding in Gaza area, but they want an assurance that further damage destruction will not be there because otherwise their money will be of no use. Okay. So the however Arab states said they could not fund reconstruction unless there is a lasting peace. The next third topic discussed at the summit was related to climate, the need for business to adapt to climate change and for country to unite for action against its despite differences was another topic of our discussion at the World Economic Forum summit. In the financing of the climate action in developing countries, assistance has to be provided by developed countries. Otherwise, this inequality will only grow, resulting in winners and losers. China's economy, facing a slow economy, China tried to attract more investment from the West, which has witnessed some cooling. In 5.2% of China's GDP growth in 2023 is still below pre-pandemic level. So China has projected to have a growth of, okay. Okay, so then it is 5.2% GDP growth in 2023 is still below the pre-pandemic level. It is battling American attempts to isolate it as evidence in the semiconductor trade standoff between America and China. An assessment of the Davos 2024 by consulting firm McKinsey and Company said India is transforming rapidly as one of the fastest growing large economy in the world. When it comes to technology, talent, healthcare, and other area, its future in 2024 and beyond is worth paying attention to. It has been well means forecasted for India that it will be on a rapid growth path as a major economy. The summit announced the launch of a global good alliance for gender equality and equality with support and, okay. So the summit announced the launch of the Global Good Alliance for Gender Equality and Equity and Equality, the support and endorsement by the World Economic Forum and the Government of India. The idea of this alliance emerged from the G20 leaders' declaration. The objective of this alliance is to bring together global best practices, knowledge sharing, and investment in the identified area of women's health, education, and enterprise. Supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the alliance will be housed and anchored by the CIA Center for Women Leadership. The World Economic Forum has come on board as a network partner and Invest India as the institutional partner. Then 3-year deadline to free Chhattisgarh from the Maoist menace. So this is another topic which is very important. Okay. So at a review meeting of the Chhattisgarh's left-wing extremist situation held in Raipur in Chhattisgarh, Union Home Minister that Amit Shah emphasized the need to free the affected pockets of the state within the next 3 years from the menace of Naxalism. The minister highlighted that the problem was confined only to certain pockets of Chhattisgarh. So from large area right now, this Maoist extremist, the Mao extremist influence is only spread to small pockets. Okay. In the past couple of months, the number of anti-Naxal operations have been on the rise in Bastar and other left wing extremist affected area of the state. Left-wing extremism. Left-wing extremism is a single internal security threat that affects the largest number of states in India. So left-wing extremism aims to overthrow the existing democratic state structure with violence as their primary weapon and mass mobilization and strategic united fronts as complementary components. They plan to usher in so-called new democratic revolutions in India. Left-wing extremists are popularly known as Maoist worldwide and as Naxalite in India because Naxalism in India emerged from a place called Naxalbari in West Bengal. So their peculiar name in India is Naxalism. Okay, so the left-wing extremists aim to overthrow the existing democratic state structure with violence as their primary weapon and mass mobilization and strategic united fronts as complementary components. They plan to usher in so-called okay is so-called okay. They plan to usher in so-called new democratic revolution in India. Okay. Okay. So the plan to usher in so-called new democratic revolution in India. Okay. Okay. So left-wing extremists are popularly known as Maoist and worldwide. So because Maoists are in Nepal, Maoists are in China, Maoists are in India, but in India peculiarly they are known as Naxalite because the movement for the left-wing extremism in India started from a place called Naxalbari in West Bengal. So they are popularly known as Naxalites in India. Okay. 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 Then land-related factors, encroachment and occupation of government and community lands by a powerful sections of society is a major reason. So encroachment of land is a major reason. Lack of title to public land cultivated by the landless poor. Poor implementation of laws prohibiting the transfer of tribal lands to non-tribals in the 5th schedule areas. Non-regularization of traditional land rights. Displacement and forced evictions. Eviction from lands traditionally used by the tribals. Displacement caused by irrigation and power projects without adequate arrangements for rehabilitation. Large-scale land acquisition for public purposes without appropriate compensation or rehabilitation. Livelihood-related causes. Lack of food security, corruption in the public distribution system, disruption of traditional occupation, and lack of alternative work opportunity are the major reasons for the spread of Naxalism in India. Other factors include deprivation and traditional rights in common property sources. Social exclusion means socially they are excluded, they are not given their social recognition. Denial of dignity. Okay, so then the denial of dignity continue to practice in some area of untouchability in various forms. Okay, so poor implementation of the special law on prevention of atrocities, protection of civil rights, and the abolition of the bonded labor, etc. Governance related factors: corruption and inadequate provision, non-provision of essential public services including primary health care and education, misuse of power by the police, and violations of the norms of law are the reasons for spread of Naxalism. Then perversion of the electoral politics and unsatisfactory working of the local government institutions like the Panchayat Raj. Current LW situation in India: mass violence came down drastically in the last 1 and 2 years. According to Home Ministry Affairs, mass violence in the country has gone down by 77% since 2010. The number of resultant deaths, security forces plus civilians have come down to 90% from the all-time high of 1000 plus in 2000 to 98 in 2022. Number of districts declared to be Naxal affected. The government has got the number of districts declared to be Naxal affected from 200 in the early 2000 to 90 now. It claimed that the geographical spread of the violence is actually restricted to just 45 districts over the country. So only 45 districts over the country have a major Naxal Midans what they are facing. Other districts, although they are coming under the Naxal influence, but so they have not their influence or their means influence is not that massive. Okay, so Maoist violence came down according to the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the death has been right now confined to only 90. Okay, and so death is confined to 98, and the number of districts comes has been reduced to 90 from 200. It claimed that the geographical spread of violence is actually restricted only to just 45 districts. Okay, according to the Ministry of Home Affairs, the arc of the violence has been considerably restricted just with 25 districts accounting for 90% of the left-wing extremism violence, and most of them are in the Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh has witnessed a major activity by the Maoist, whereas other states have not been affected by that an extent. Means they have been reduced in other states. Okay. So the presence of Naxal is said to be minimal to zero in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar. Okay, late involvement of the state police. So why does Chhattisgarh country remain in trouble? So Chhattisgarh remain in trouble, and what is the reason behind this? Okay, why Chhattisgarh was remain in the grip of nationalism? So the reason is late involvement of the state police. Okay, in Chhattisgarh, the involvement of the police started late. That is why. So the response in Chhattisgarh is comparatively less. Okay, it is widely accepted principle in counter Maoist strategy that the war against the left-wing extremism can only be won by the state police and not central police, because the state police know the nitty-gritty of the area, their spread, their language, etc. They can take the support of the central agency, but if the responsibility is wholeheartedly given to the central forces, they will not be able to handle the situation well. So the state should create its own special police network or police forces to take care of or to handle the Naxal violence. That is the reason why. So that Andhra Pradesh to the Greyhound was able to control it, and Odisha to the SOG, the Special Operation Group, was able to handle it, and that Jharkhand has built its own forces called the Jharkhand Jaguar. Okay, and that is why it is very well known that only a specialized force of the state created by the or led by the state police can to some extent be able to do this. Fine. This is because the state police have local knowledge and local level network that are essential for the generation of intelligence. Because in the anti-naxal operation, intelligence gathering and understanding the people and getting information from them matters a lot than anything else. It was through the active involvement of local police in the leading role that states such as Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Odisha and Jharkhand are able to end their Maoist problem, which was not in case of Chhattisgarh. This process, security establishment sources, started late in Chhattisgarh. This process was launched, but it was launched in Chhattisgarh quite late. So Chhattisgarh is yet suffering from the Maoist menace. By this time, police of neighboring states had pushed Maoists from their state to Chhattisgarh, making it a concentrated zone of Maoist influence. Absence of road in the interior of the Bastar district, the absence of road network in the interior of the Bastar has stymied the operation of the security force, because the rapid and fast movement is hindered or is hampered by the absence of proper road network. Minimal presence of the administration in the interior of South Bastar has ensured the Maoists continue to have influence in the region, because in the interior region, the administration's presence is comparatively less, and this is the major reason for the activity or the active involvement or active participation, active presence of the Maoist in those interior regions of Bastar. Fine, and influence the region. Response by the center, different schemes to support the left-wing extremist states. Security expenditures are provided by the central government. The central government provide the security-related expenditures to fight the Maoist. The special infrastructure scheme aims to strengthen local police and intelligence setup. Special central assistance for building infrastructure such as roads in the left-wing extremist affected areas. The center has maintained a massive presence of the CRPF in the affected states for almost 2 decades, and the CRPF has created the Cobra Battalion as a dedicated anti-Naxal unit. Okay, and erection of the mobile towers in the area for communication. Center is pushing for the erection of mobile towers in the interior, which could help the local people connect with the mainstream and also generate technical intelligence. And police can get the information well, so that it will facilitate that rapid movement and easy action by the security forces. Maoist sympathizer on the radar of the center. The center has also unleashed the Counter-Terrorism National Investigating Agency and the Enforcement Directorate on CPI cadre and the leaders. That is a reason for which the Maoist issue, the Maoist challenge has come to and has started falling in those areas where they were running earlier. Okay. Ingenuity Mars helicopter. NASA has re-established contact with its Ingenuity helicopter on Mars, the US Space Agency said recently. So, what about this helicopter? It is a small autonomous aircraft that flew to Mars aboard NASA's Perseverance rover. It was sent to Mars to perform experimental flight tests to determine if powered, controlled flight at the red planet was possible. Ingenuity mission is experimental in nature and completely independent of the rover's scientific mission. Ingenuity was deployed to the surface on April 2021. On April 19th and 4th April, it became the first aircraft in history to make a powerful controlled flight on another planet. It rose to a height of 10 feet, hovered for 30 seconds, and then descended back to the ground. The flight lasted 39.1 seconds. It managed to fly in Mars' thin atmosphere, which is not conducive for flying. It's piloted by a non-broad guidance, navigation and control system running algorithms. Perseverance acts as a relay between the copper and the Earth. Key facts about the Perseverance rover. Okay, it is a robotic explorer to land on Mars as part of NASA's ongoing Mars 2020 mission. Main job: seek signs of ancient life and collect sample of rock and regoliths for possible return to Earth. The rover will collect sample of rock and soil, encase them in tubes, and leave them on the planet's surface to be returned to Earth at a future date. Okay, so main job: seek sign of ancient life and collect samples. The rover will collect sample and that will be returned to Earth in future date. It was launched on July 30th, 2020 from the Cape Canaveral, Florida in USA. Successfully landed on the surface of Mars that J0 crater on February 18, 2021. It is about 3 meter long, 2.7 meter wide and 2.2 meters tall. It is about the size of a car but weight only about 1020 kg with all instruments on board. Power source: multi-mission radioisotope thermoelectric generator, converts heat from the radioactive decay of the plutonium into electricity. Then the strategic intervention, the next topic is the strategic intervention for green hydrogen transition. Rupees 17,490. Okay. 17,490 crore has been set aside for the strategic intervention for green hydrogen transition program by the government to boost domestic electrolyzer manufacturing, green hydrogen production. Fine. About strategic intervention for green hydrogen transition program. Okay. So it is a subcomponent of National Green Hydrogen Mission. It aims to bolster domestic electrolyzer manufacturing and green hydrogen production. In the initial stage, two distinct financial incentives mechanisms were proposed with an outlay of 17,490 crore up to 2029-30. Incentive for manufacturing electrolyzers. Incentive for production of green hydrogen depending on the market and technology development. Specific incentive schemes and programs will continue to evolve as the mission progresses. Implementing agency: the Solar Energy Corporation of India would be the implementing agency responsible for the schemes execution. Fine. the Solar Energy Corporation of India. What is the National Green Hydrogen Mission? It is implemented by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy with an outlay of 19,477 crore from 2023-24 to 2029-30. The overarching objective of the mission is to make India a global hub for production, use and export of green hydrogen and its derivatives. The expected outcomes of the mission by 2030 are as follows. India's green hydrogen production capacity is likely to reach 5 million metric ton per annum, contributing to reduction in dependence on import of fossil fuels. Achievement of mission target is expected to reduce a cumulative 1 lakh crore worth of fossil fuel import by 2030. This is likely to leverage over 8 lakh crore in total investment and create over 6 lakh jobs. Nearly 50 million metric ton per annum of CO2 emissions are expected to be averted through the production and use of the targeted quantum of green hydrogen. It has a provision for supporting pilot projects for low carbon steel, mobility, shipping and ports where there is a prospect. The mission provides allocation for various subcomponents of the mission such as the site, pilot projects, R&D fund, specific selected projects will be funded by them. There is no state-wise allocation made under the mission. Key facts about green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is produced by the process of electrolysis where water is split into hydrogen and oxygen using electricity generated from renewable sources like solar, wind and hydropower. This process results in a clean and emission-free fuel that has immense potential to replace fossil fuel and reduce the carbon emissions. Then the Habisure vaccine. Recently, the Indian Immunological Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Dairy Development Board, launched India's first indigenously developed hepatitis A vaccine, Habisure in Hyderabad. It is a two-dose vaccine, first dose administered at above 12 months of age and the second dose at 6 months after the first dose. The vaccine is recommended for children as part of the routine immunization as well as for individuals at risk of exposure or travel to regions that high hepatitis prevalence. In addition to these people, its occupational risk of infection and suffering from chronic liver disease also require hepatitis E vaccination. Key facts: it is an inflammation of the liver caused by the hepatitis A virus. The virus is primarily spread when an uninfected or unvaccinated person injects food or water that is contaminated with the feces of an infected person. Hepatitis can be an acute infection or a chronic infection. There are different types of hepatitis with different causes. Viral hepatitis is the most common type. It is caused by one of the several viruses, hepatitis virus A, B, C, D and E. Alcohol hepatitis is caused by heavy alcohol use. Toxic hepatitis can be caused by certain poisonous chemicals, medicines or supplements. Autoimmune hepatitis is a chronic type in which your body's immune system attacks your liver. The cause is not known, but genetics and your environmental may play a role in this. Hepatitis B, hepatitis C and hepatitis D spreads through contact with the blood of someone who has the disease. Hepatitis B and D may also spread through contact with other blood body fluids. This can happen in many ways, such as sharing drug needles or having unprotected sex. Symptoms: some people with hepatitis do not have symptoms and do not know they are infected. Common symptoms include fever, malaria, malaise, loss of appetite, diarrhea, nausea, abdominal discomfort, dark color urine and jaundice. There is no specific treatment for hepatitis A. Recovery from symptom follow infection may be slow and can take several weeks or months. Then the next is about the environment and the wildlife, about the Great Indian Bustard. The Supreme Court recently directed the center to come clean on its plan to save the critically endangered Great Indian Bustards, which are declared as critically endangered. So it is a bustard found on the Indian subcontinent. Scientific name is the Ardeotis nigriceps. It is among the heaviest of the flying birds. Distribution: the species has a current viable population of 100 to 150 individuals in India and mainly survive in the Thar desert of Rajasthan that holds about 100 individuals. It inhabits dry grassland and the scrublands. Features: it is a large bird with a horizontal body and long bare legs, giving it a ostrich-like appearance. The sexes are roughly the same size, with the largest individual weighing about 15 kg. It can easily be distinguished by its black crown and a forehead contrasting with the pale neck and head. The body is brownish and the wings are marked with black, brown and grey. They breed mostly during the monsoon season when female lay a single egg on open ground. Lifespan is 12 to 15 years. These birds are opportunist eater. Their diet range widely depending on the seasonal available food. They feed on grass seeds, insects like grasshoppers and beetles, and sometimes even small rodents and reptiles. So, as per the IUCN Red List, they are critically endangered, and the Wildlife Protection Act protect them under the Schedule 1, and the site they are covered in the Appendix 1. That means they are critically endangered species. Then the Wellington Island. The Cochin Port Joint Trade Union Forum has urged the Prime Minister of India to take effective steps to review the lost glory of the Wellington Island. It is among the most beautiful locations in the Kochi area. This is a man-made island named after the Lord Wellington, who was a British viceroy in India. It is among the biggest of its kind in India. It is a major commercial center and has some of the best hotels in the city. It is also home to a Kochi naval base of the Indian Navy, the Central Institute of Fishery Technology and the Port of Kochi. It handles million tons of freight every year. The island is connected to the mainland by the Vendutti Bridge. Who was Lord Wellington? He was the 22nd Viceroy and Governor General of India. So during his period, he introduced the Government of India Act 1935. The second roundtable conference was held in 1931, saw the participation of Gandhi as a representative of the Congress, because this is the only roundtable conference participated by Gandhi. British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald introduced the communal award during his tenure in 1932. The Pune Pact 1932 was reached between the Gandhi and the Ambedkar to address provisions related to fair representation of the backward classes. The third roundtable conference held in 1932 failed as neither Gandhi nor Congress attended it. It was also during his period. Then coming to the long question answer writing, examine the concept of emotional intelligence and discuss their utilities and application in administrative practices. Emotional intelligence refers to ability to recognize, understand, manage, and effectively use one's own emotion, as well as the ability to perceive, comprehend, and respond to the emotions of others. It involves a set of skills and competencies that enable individuals to navigate social interactions, make informed decisions, and manage interpersonal relations with empathy and emotional weakness. Concept of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, understanding one's emotion, recognizing their impact, and being aware of personal strength and weakness in emotional response. Self-regulation: managing and controlling one's emotion in different situations, exhibiting adaptability and a constructive approach to challenges. Motivation: harnessing emotion to derive personal and professional goals, demonstrating resilience and maintaining a positive outlook. Empathy: sensing and understanding others' emotions, appreciating diverse perspectives, and cultivating strong interpersonal relations. Social skills: effectively navigating social situations, communicating persuasively, and building and maintaining positive relationship with others. Then utilities and applications in administrative practices. Conflict resolution: an emotionally intelligent civil servant can resolve conflict effectively, efficiently by understanding and empathizing with people's emotions, fostering constructive communication for resolution. For example, if there is a riot in a district, an emotionally intelligent civil servant can use their skill to calm the situation, identify root causes, and negotiate a peaceful solution for all parties involved. The leadership effectiveness: emotionally intelligent civil servants inspire and motivate teams by managing their own emotions and understanding responding to team members' emotions. For example, in a challenging project or task, an emotionally intelligent civil servant uses their awareness and regulation skill to foster a positive atmosphere. They communicate a goal clearly, maintain confidence, and offer support to team members. Decision making: an emotionally intelligent civil servant makes decisions by considering the emotional impact on stakeholders, fostering a balanced and uh, thoughtful approach. For example, an emotionally intelligent civil servant can navigate impactful policy decisions by employing emotional facilitation, understanding, and problem solving. They assess alternatives, anticipate stakeholders' reaction, and implement decisions transparently and irrationally. Employee engagement: emotionally intelligent civil servants can boost employee engagement by recognizing and addressing emotional needs, fostering a positive work environment. Okay, so for example, an emotionally intelligent civil servant can address high turnover or low morale by using empathy, social awareness, and relationship management skill to listen, appreciate employees, and foster a culture of trust and collaboration. A crisis leader: an emotionally intelligent civil servant can handle crisis effectively by managing and maintaining composure, making informed decisions, okay, and providing support to teams and stakeholders facing challenging circumstances. For example, during a crisis like natural disaster or pandemic, emotionally intelligent civil servants leverage resilience, adaptability, and leadership to manage stress, coordinate resources, and communicate empathy with which affect the individuals in the organization. So the concept of emotional intelligence play a pivotal role in administrative practices, enhancing leadership effectiveness, decision making, team collaboration, and overall organizational success. Civil servants who cultivate and apply emotional intelligence competencies contribute to positive work environment and sustainable environmental that organizational growth. Okay. Then coming to the MCQs, a dark sky park is a park that aims to preserve the night sky and promote astronomy education and stargazing. The Pench Tiger Reserve in Maharashtra is India's first dark sky park. Tropical rainforest is the primary type of forest ecosystem found in the Pench Tiger Reserve. Here only 1 and 2 are correct. Which one of the following statement is correct with reference to the Indian digital ecosystem architecture? So it aims to promote and develop the development of standalone isolated digital system for different government agencies. No, it proposes to a purpose is to guide and the creation of interconnected and interoperable digital platform across government department and sectors. Right, this is the right option. With reference to the annual status of education report ASSET 2023 report, which of the following statements are correct? The ASER 2023 report focused on rural youth age 18 to 14 to 18, especially on their ability to apply reading and math skill to everyday situation and their aspirations. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is the most popular among the rural youth enrolled in higher education. Female are better at reading in their regional language, while males excel in arithmetic and English. Here, so 1 and 3 are correct as per the ASER report. What is the terminal high altitude area defense? Terminal high altitude area defense. Okay, so it is an American anti-missile system. In India, it is largely mandatory for which of the following to report on the cybersecurity incident: service providers, data centers, body corporate. Okay, so here for the question number 5, so it is all three are mandated. With reference to the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, consider the following statement: CEPI is a branch of the World Health Organization. Serum Institute of India has joined the CEPI Global Network. Okay, so the 100-day mission is related to the Coalition of Epidemic Preparedness and Innovation. So only 3 is incorrect. Consider the following statement about the Great Indian Bustard. It is among the heaviest of the flying birds. It is listed as endangered in IUCN Red List. It is a bustard found in the Indian subcontinent. So here for question number 7, so 1 and 3 are correct in the endangered list. Okay, so as per this IUCN, so the Great Indian Bustard is in the critically endangered category, not in the endangered category. It is placed in the critically endangered category by the IUCN. Okay, red list. With reference to the green bond, consider the following statement: when a green bond is issued in a foreign country, it implies that the bond proceeds will be used only in the foreign country. That is okay. Incorrect. A country chooses to issue green bond in other nations' currency to support domestic industries. So here both are incorrect. So answer is D. Consider the following statement about the Habisure vaccine. It is India's first indigenously developed hepatitis A vaccine. It is designed by the Indian Immunologists Limited. It is a single dose vaccine administered at below 12 months of age. So question number 9. So only 1 and 2 and but 2 it is not a single dose, it is double dose vaccine. One year 12 months, another after the 6 months. Okay, then consider the following statement regarding the recently launched project Prayas. The project aims to facilitate safe, orderly and regular migration of Indian workers and students. It consolidates state level initiative and focuses on improving coordination between state and central government. Okay, right, it was launched by the Ministry of Home Affairs. So 1 and 2 corporate affairs, 1 and 2 are correct, 3 is correct. So only 2, answer is B. So thank you for watching. Keep watching regular to update yourself.